Hello, everybody. It's Kate Beaters. I've got a really fun and cool Facebook Live for you today. So please say hi. Let me know who's there. Let's see, put my glasses on so I can see who's there. Let's see, make sure this is working. Um, Let me know that you can hear me. That's important. And let's like rock and roll. Let's see. It's all good stuff. Let's see. So let me know you can hear me because I've got some cool stuff to share. And let's see. And also tell me who's here. Tell me where you're from. We've got this gorgeous day in Boston. Seriously, it's like phenomenal. And so this is going to be a short Facebook Live because I want to get out and enjoy it. So good. I'm seeing some thumbs up. You guys can hear me. Awesome. 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 Let me take a sip of my water. And I'm here with my girl. Let's see her. There's Callie because Callie can tap. I wish. So everybody, let me know too, like if you've tapped before, not tapped before, because some things I may be kind of new to you. I have my own kind of little ways of doing things. So anyways, good morning, good afternoon to everybody who's here. I want to welcome you. I'm Kate Beaters. I am the breakthrough expert and founder of Brilliance Builders. And I'm here with Callie. Oh, and I think she wants to go down. I think she's had enough. I'm wearing my dog t-shirt. I donated money to feed dogs, so it's that kind of a day. And I want to share with you today my secret weapon. This is what I use all the time. That's really helped me have exceptional success, build a really highly profitable business, and be a member of the 5% Club of Entrepreneurs, which means I not only make a really good living, I also am a very profitable business. And honest to goodness, without tapping, I don't know where I'd be. So that's what I want to teach all of you, because what actually happened, Kelly, you want to go down or are you going to stay, honey? Is that I've been doing the tapping now for a little bit before my business. I don't know, about 8 years maybe, because my business is a little over 7. And I've kind of taken it for granted that everybody now at this point knows tapping. And I realized somebody was talking to me the other day and said, but Kate, not everybody does. So I want to take this time to introduce you to tapping if you're new to it. And Kelly, you want to go down? Oh, she's being a little snappy right now. And if you have tried it before, you'll get to try it my way, which I think is very cool. So I'm going to give you kind of an overview of what I want to do on today's Facebook Live is give you a little overview of what tapping actually is, why it works, so you'll understand. Oops, here you go. Oops, I guess I'm going to just leave her then. She's being a little snarly today. And, and why it's helped me, why it's helped, the thousands of clients I've worked with, why it's helped thousands of people all over, well, not thousands, maybe millions of people at this point all over the world, and just really help people transform their lives. And to me, it was just really totally life altering, because when I first started learning about it, I got this light bulb. And I basically stopped beating myself up and saying, like, how come I'm not doing this, or how come I'm not doing that? And I started understanding all about mindset, and kept, which I've continued to study and be an expert in, and then pull tapping in. And it's made all the difference in helping me really achieve and receive the results I want. So what I want to do is again, welcome everybody, and just a little bit about tapping. I actually, is there anybody here who's unfamiliar with tapping? If you can let me know that too, that would be great. I actually happened to be on vacation in the Caribbean. This was when I was back in corporate and doing business development, and I went to this really nice meditation class. The instructor's voice was, oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was very melodramatic, and just at the end of the class, I just said to him, like, wow, if I could, I said, this class was amazing. Your voice is amazing. And if I could just give up ice cream, I would be like thrilled. And he said to me, like, what are you talking about? Because this was in the Caribbean, and I'm talking about giving up ice cream. And I explained to him, I live in Boston, and in Boston, there's ice cream on every street corner, open year round, which those of us from Boston, we take that for granted. Not every city has that, trust me. But ice cream's not good for you. It's got sugar and fat and cream and all that other stuff. It's just not great for you. And I said, can you help me get rid of my cravings for ice cream? So he said, I learned this new technique. Can I try it with you? And so I was like, what the heck? Because on vacation, you always try new foods, new experiences, new this, new that. And so I tried it. And what was really interesting is in a really short time, I had as much interest in eating ice cream as I did eating my cell phone. And I was like, wow, this is really, really cool. But the truth of the matter is that I didn't even know what the technique was called. I had no clue how it worked. I didn't know why it worked. But all I knew was that my craving for ice cream went away. But at that point, the beach, the ocean was calling me, and I didn't really bother to stick around, and I kind of went down to the beach. Well, I stayed in touch with this fellow, and I had some things happen at work. And oh, thank you guys for the likes. Please do likes and hearts if I'm saying things that resonate. And my boss at the time called me on the phone, and he said, we're making some changes in the company, and things that I had promised you to happen are no longer going to happen. And these were all the reasons I went to work for him about 8 months earlier. All these promises, I call them like deal breakers. It's like, if you come and do this, I'll give you this. And I met with him the next day, and he's, to talk about all this. But in the meantime, when he called me on the phone, telling me that all these things he promised could no longer happen, I was pretty pissed. I mean, wouldn't you guys be pissed too? You leave one job to go to another job, and then all of a sudden, all the things you were told were going to happen don't happen. And if you're like me, you can start getting really angry. So I called this fellow, I emailed the fellow and said, hey, can we connect? And we connected over Skype. Now, understand, 8 years ago, Skype really stunk. It would vibrate. It was constantly echoey. It would get disconnected. You could not even talk as long as I've been on this, whatever it is, like 2-3 minutes. We would not even have been on this long without an interruption. So he used the technique on me, and in a really short time, as much all my anger just kind of tended to dissipate, and it was really, really cool. And again, I really had no clue how the technique worked, didn't know what it was called. All I knew is that I just felt very calm. So I met with my boss the next day, and he told me what was going on. The company was merging, and that's why all these things he promised me could no longer happen. And I was very calm. I listened to him instead of getting like, you promised me, which is kind of like how a lot of us kind of get, like, you promised me and now you're not doing it. And he said to me, look, I don't want you to leave. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to give you more money and give you some more vacation time and all sorts of stuff. And I was like, well, sure, I'll do that. And so what happened is, as a result, he gave me more stuff to stay, more money, more benefits. I decided to stay. So both of us were really, really happy. And as a result, it was a win-win. If I had not tapped before that, I would have gone in really angry. That would have made him very defensive. It would have been just like this. Can everyone get that? And what happens is you got two people kind of going power in this. So you understand why I call this my secret weapon. So he used this technique on Vietnam vets. Now understand, in the 90s, that's 3 decades later than, sure. Oh, my video stopped. Can you guys hear me? Oops. Let's just see. Can you guys hear me? I wonder if it's the internet. Oop. Let's see. Can someone just let me know if you can hear me? I just got a text from my team member that it stopped. Oop, can you guys hear me? Yes, no? Oop. Can anybody hear me? Okay, great. Okay. I think it was the internet, Xfinity. So sorry about that. So I'm not sure kind of where it left off, but I want to make sure you understand this about what happened in the strength of this technique. Is that in the 90s, when he used this on Vietnam vets, so here it is 3 decades later after Vietnam, they're going to the VA centers, they're getting help, they're seeing therapists, they're getting their meds, all sorts of things. And because they're having problems, they're not sleeping at night, dealing with all sorts of emotional issues. So what happened is, one guy had a fear of heights, right? Because he'd been a parachute jumper. And so what would happen is he just didn't want to go anywhere high because he just envisioned all his experiences from Vietnam. Well, he helped them through that. So the guy was able to even go to the top of a tall building, look down and not feel anything. Another guy had a fear of loud noises because, in war, there's bombs and guns and everything going off. Well, he got rid of that. Another guy couldn't sleep at night. So because of all the horrendous things going on. So understand that this technique helped these people just start releasing all that stuff, all the memories, the traumas, the anxieties. things that happened 30 years that traditional medicine wasn't able to help them, just totally get rid of. So I want you to see that, just so you see the power in this technique, that even though, like, if you come to one of my events, you'll see I use it and it looks like, oh, okay, just blah, 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 doing it. And maybe you've seen other people do it. Understand there's a lot of science that goes on behind it. And I need you to know that and hear that, so you understand when you see people doing it like on YouTube or whatever, or they're teaching off YouTube, that a lot of people don't really understand the whole process that's going on behind it. And there's really a very powerful method that when people are trained highly are doing and using to help people in the best way possible release things. So why is it important for you to know, to experience tapping? Because what happens is, let's say someone teaches you, let's say you're an entrepreneur, for example, and let's say someone teaches you how to write a book, for example, okay? Well, you might be all really great about it, but then if you've got this fear that it's not going to be perfect, the fear that somebody won't like it, the fear that it's not good enough, the fear that it doesn't match up to others, the fear that you're leaving something out, the fear of this, the fear of that, all those things, that's all going to stop you. So that's when tapping comes in and makes it nice and easy and helps you release those fears. Maybe you've got a fear about going to a networking event because who's going to want to talk to you? Maybe you've got fear about speaking somewhere. Maybe you have this anxiety that you got to keep go, 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 because if you stop for a minute, someone's going to jump in and take your place. All sorts of stuff going on, and that can hold you back. So how do I use tapping with my clients? Well, there's 4 different ways. One is, let's say I'm helping them come up with a game plan to, let's say, bring in some extra money into their business, and we go over the whole marketing strategy. Everything's great, but then all of a sudden a fear or doubt will pop up. For example, one of my clients, we figured out that she'd been doing business about 5 years, making about $15 to $20 an hour. And not that that's what she charged, but we figured all the time involved with what she did for her clients. And we put together a way of her coming up with some higher end programs. Well, that was all great. She bought into it. And then all of a sudden she had this fear, like, hey, nobody in my industry would ever charge that much money. So that means that you could be, talking to really great coaches or really great experts and get these really wonderful ideas. But if you've all of a sudden got this fear coming up that nobody would ever do it, or people will get mad at you if you do it, you're going to stop yourself. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll give them the strategy, or maybe they already have the strategy, and then I'll use the tapping to help them break down their fears, their doubts, and old stories so they can move forward. Another way I help people is sometimes people have been through a trauma. Something terrible is going on in their life right then and there, and they can't even focus. Everything is just kind of haywire. Well, I use that to help ground them so they start getting clarity and they're able to move through things easily. Another way I use it is at my live event. So, for example, for those of you coming to conversations to clientslive.com, that's conversationsToClientsLive.com. You'll get to experience a lot of tapping because I'm going to use that as I teach you, so that way you'll start becoming more comfortable with it and help you release any fears and doubts that you can't do this. Another way I help people is just a nice, even positive tapping, just to keep people encouraged and all that. Today for my coaching group, I sent them out an audio of positive tapping just to kind of keep them like, woohoo, you've got it, you've got this, you can keep doing it. Yep, it's Wednesday, it's hump day, but rock on, you got it. So tapping can be used in so many different ways. I've got, honestly, thousands, if it's not a million, I'm probably exaggerating, but that definitely tens of thousands of stories of how I help people. Anywhere from old stories of what they experienced in childhood to something that even happened 3 days ago that someone just, burned them somehow, and helping them release these traumas so they can move forward. So what I'd like to do is have you guys start to experience some tapping. And so what I want to say to you, first of all, is that if tapping bothers you, tapping is meant to be very, very gentle. So you need to take responsibility for your own well-being. If it bothers you, you've got to stop, because it isn't like we're in front of each other. You're not, at my live event, so I can sit there and say, like, what's going on? We're over the internet, and I can't help you. So if tapping bothers you, simply stop. Okay, just want to say that. Also understand that as we're tapping, if things pop up for you, that's really, really, don't be afraid by that. It just means that, your subconscious mind is kind of reminding you, like, oh, there's this thing and this story and this memory and that memory. Those are actually really good things. Write them down. Those are things we can work on and clear out. So don't be afraid if other things start popping up. It's not necessarily a bad thing. People sometimes get scared and go like, oh, it's not working because I'm thinking about this. No, it's all good. It's all good. So don't be afraid of that. So what I want to do is what I'm going to do for tapping, because this is a big tapping issue, and you entrepreneurs will appreciate, especially when I'm doing an event, conversations to clientslive.com. And I'm teaching sales conversations, and one of the big objections is money. So I'm going to just do a little tapping round on money so you guys get to experience what it's like. So what I'd like you to do is, first you're just going to think about, how much it really maybe scares you or bothers you, or you fears about investing in yourself, right? To invest in yourself, let's say to come to an event or to hire an expert or to hire a coach or any type of thing where it involves money, that it kind of like, maybe I shouldn't do it. What if something bad happens? All right. So just kind of what I want you to do is give it a number. And we're not comparing numbers. It's just for you personally. And 0, like, hey, not a problem. I'm happily investing, easily, and it's not even an issue. 10, like, I don't like investing because what if I don't get it back? And what if it doesn't work? And what if that person can't help me or that resource can't help me? And, your mind just starts going all over the place and would keep you up at night. So just write that number down anywhere it is. Again, it doesn't matter what your number is. It's just a matter of you having a point of reference. So what I want to show you now is I want to show you the tapping points. And what you're going to do is just follow along with me so you can just see what they are. So when I say single karate chop, it's like you're taking some fingers from one hand, doesn't matter which one, and you're tapping along the side of the other hand. So kind of like this, and that's single karate chop. The next, you're doing the points on the face and upper body. Now what we're doing is we're tapping on certain meridian points that have found to be the best ones to help people get the results. And one thing, just as a side note, is that I'm super results oriented, that I've got a lot of different tools, techniques, strategies in my toolbox. And if there was something better than tapping out there, I would not have spent tens of thousands of dollars being one of the top experts in it, because I just think it's phenomenal. So I just want to that's a caveat. That's my personal feeling. I love the technique. In fact, just a little side note, I was actually supposed to go to grad school before I started my own business. I got in, took the first class. I left it because I wanted to start a business based where I was using tapping. So that's how strongly I love this technique. So just so you all know. So, okay, so the karate chop's here. Now we're doing points on the face and body. I tap with 2 hands. So you can take your 2 fingers like this. And the first point is your inner eye, where your eyebrow starts, if you can see that. Next is the outer eye. And you're always tapping about 6-7 times on each point. And third point is under eye, kind of where your bone is under there. 4th point is under nose. So kind of like right that little indent there. Then the indent of your chin. You're tapping right there. Collarbone, that's why I wore this shirt, so you guys could see my collarbone a little bit. So there's a collarbone right there, using both hands and like 3 to 4 fingers, depending on how big your fingers are, depending on how big your collarbone is, but just to cover it. Next point is underarm, and let me just pull it down here a little bit. So you can either, whatever more comfortable, you can either cross under and tap under your arm. It's about 4 inches below your armpit this way, or some people prefer to tap this way. Whatever's more comfortable for you. Next point is your liver point, and let me just lower this a little bit more. That's for a woman, that's right where your underwire bra kind of hits, like right under there, tapping there. For a guy, it's about 4 inches below the nipple, and you're tapping there. Then you're tapping the wrist points, and you can either tap like this, so basically you're hitting the inner wrist like this, or else you can have your inner wrist tapped against each other, whatever's more comfortable for you. And then last point is top of the head. And I see some people like dancing all around when they tap, and it's like, no, you just want the crown of the head, and you just go tapping up and down. And so what happens is while you're tapping, you're going to repeat the words I say. And so it's kind of like Simon Says, you're going to tap where I tell you to tap, and you're going to say what I tell you to say. Okay, so again, I make it look really easy. Please understand there's a lot of science behind it. And we're going to just tap along, and I'm just trusting my intuition for whatever needs to be said during this call will be said. So again, we're focused on this fear of like, oh, I can't invest in myself, all the what ifs. So we're going to start with the karate chop. Even though, and again, you're repeating after me, I can't hear you. If you were at Conversations to Clients Live, I'd hear you guys, or when I do this from stage, I hear you guys. So just, I'm pretending I can hear you. Even though I've got this great big fear of investing. I want to find a way to love and accept myself. And we're going to do it again. Even though I've got this great big fear of investing, I want to find a way to love and accept myself. And we're just going to say that one more time. Even though I've got this great big fear of investing, I want to find a way to love and accept myself. Okay, shake them out for a sec. And I'm going to do fairly easy words and phrases just because this is on Facebook Live and in case something, the internet goes or whatever. So I want to make this as simple as possible. Okay, so inner eye, starting here. I get afraid of investing. I get really afraid. I work hard for my money. What if it doesn't work? What if I don't get back my investment? What if I spend all this money and it just doesn't work? What if I've wasted all this money and got zero results? That's what I'm afraid of. And I work so hard for my money. I can't afford to lose any. So I'm just not going to invest it. I'm going to hold on really, really tight. And I'm never going to let it go. I'm never going to invest. I'm never going to invest in others. But let me think about this for a minute. The truth is, I'm not really investing in others. I'm actually investing in myself. It comes down to how much I believe I can get the results. It comes down to how much I believe I deserve the results. How much I believe I'm worthy of these results. How badly I want these results. It's about me investing in me. That's what it really comes down to. So it's up to me to decide if I'm worthy of this or not. And maybe if I've got old stories holding on in my head that I don't deserve this, maybe that's a bigger problem. And maybe if I have old stories that this won't work, maybe that's a bigger problem. Because that has nothing to do with investing in myself. Maybe I didn't show up fully. So maybe I need to look at how I show up to get the best results and keep myself safe. Okay, so everybody, I want you to take a nice deep breath, let it out. And as you're releasing that breath, picture yourself releasing some of that fear of investing in yourself. And then I want you to think about, what is your number? Has your number changed? And let me know, do some hearts or likes or something, let me know, or post some comments. Can you guys still hear me? I'm making sure I didn't lose the internet. I want to make sure you guys are here. I want to make sure, can you guys hear me? Can I just get some likes or hearts or something, letting me know you guys can hear me? Because it seemed like the internet went out for a little bit. Okay, I'm hearing, I saw something, someone said they can hear me, which is good. Okay, good, 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 good. So did you notice your number change? Okay, thanks, Michelle. Let me know. Okay, good. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Xfinity. Maybe I need to tap on Xfinity. So even though Xfinity doesn't always have internet working for me, well, when law of attraction works, I'll get the internet back. So what typically happens with the tap in that you just experienced is that you start to notice your number change. And usually you feel like that weight on your shoulder, whatever that issue is, it starts to lighten up. Now, again, like I said before we started tapping, that if other thoughts and fears and doubts and things start popping up, that's great. Write them down. Those are just things to work on. Don't be scared. Don't sit there and say, oh, no, it didn't work. It just means there's new stuff. And write that down, okay? Because that's important to know about. And so what I typically then do is then do another round of tapping. And so, for example, if it's a coaching call, I'll keep tapping and tapping and tapping, as much time as we have till the issue becomes non-existent. Very often what happens, which is kind of cool at an event, is there's a lot of interaction. So people will share what's going on, and we just keep tapping, bringing in all those different issues, and people get really, really powerful results. So what I'd like to do, and I just want to make sure the internet is still going. So I'm assuming I was getting hearts and likes, so I'm assuming it's still good. So I want to do one more round of tapping before we go, so we all can get on and enjoy the day. But I do want to make sure, for those of you who are interested, it's conversationstoclientslive.com. That's conversationstoclientslive.com. And use this, I'm just going to put this in here, use this, because right now my team put in a 40% savings off of the ticket price. I don't know how long they're leaving it in. So I just posted it up there. It's in capital letters, yes 17. Use that when you register. And so what's going to happen at this event is we're going to focus in on your attitude towards sales. So if you've got this like, I hate sales type of thing, we're going to do a lot of tapping around that. Get you really comfortable with it. Going to talk about the script, what you need, what to say. I'm going to give you my script, but not so you become a mini me, but more so you become more comfortable in what to say. So it becomes a really very fluid conversation, very authentic. And that's what helps create that know, like, and trust. Going to focus in on how to overcome objections. And we're going to go into a very different way of looking at it, because most of these sales conversations are very like, now you say this, and now you say this, and now you say this. We're really getting into understanding out what's going on in your head, what's going on in their head. So therefore you don't get afraid of objections when you hear the money thing, the time thing, all that other kind of stuff. We're going to focus in on that. How to deal with rejection, because no matter how good you get, ultimately there's going to be times people say no to you. So how do you handle that so you don't get knocked over and are able to just kind of say, when they say no, you say next and move forward. What else? So I'm going to be pulling in lots of tapping, laws of attraction. I'm going to be pulling in some neuroscience. Plus you're with an amazing community, and people make really, really great friends from it. I feed you a delicious lunch both days, and it's a pretty phenomenal event. And this is, charging what you're worth. Forgot to talk about that. I'm also teaching you how to charge what you're worth. So because if you're like me, my story in the beginning is I even though I was great at selling from corporate, selling my own stuff was a total transition. I did discounts, I did trades, I gave it away, anything but talk about money. And you saw my girl in the beginning, she likes to eat, she likes treats, and I had to figure it out. So I teach you how to charge what you're worth. I teach you the magic price point. So therefore, when you talk about money, you don't get out of alignment to go like, it's $300 or it's $3,000. You know how people's voices do that? Or else they talk really fast, or they talk really slow, or they just mumble their words or whatever, anything but talk about money. So you're just going to leave with so much confidence, rocking it, and just amazing connections. Powerful event. I don't know of any other transformational event like it. Speaking of which, it isn't one of these events where you walk away with this thick binder with lots of notes, and the next day or two you have no idea where to start, you're overwhelmed. You actually make the transformation during the event. So that's what's really, really cool. So if you do have any questions about the event, please let me know. You can post here. You can email here, info@katebeaters.com. You can either email your question. If you want to talk to me for a couple minutes about the event, see if it's the right thing, just email my team, say I want to talk to Kate, put some times, or my team will figure out times, and we'll connect that way. So I want to do one more round of tapping before we go. So again, if this was at an event or something in person, or even if it was a private coaching call, there'd be feedback. So I'd be knowing like, yeah, Kate, that's really great, but then this popped up or that popped up. Or again, at an event, and it's lots of people sharing, well, this thing popped up or that thing popped up. So we kind of, my expertise, I'm able to kind of pull it all together, and people just, very cool. All right, so let's, Heidi, thank you for giving the website name. Yes. Yes, Celia, I do tap very differently. I'm really highly trained, so I pull that in. I know about 4 dozen different techniques of tapping, and I pull them all in. And honestly, I'm really about helping people get the best results possible. So a Facebook Live's a little bit different, but in person, it, I really say like what's going to help people the best, and those are the techniques I pull in to help everybody. Um, Oh, the time of the event, Jody. So it's 2 days. It's all day the 21st, and we actually have an evening activity. If it ends fairly evening early, we're done about 7:30, and then all day on that Friday, starting about registrations 8 to 9 the first day, and we start 9 o'clock both days. Beautiful place, parking's right in front, gorgeous lake over there. There's black swans, white swans, beautiful, beautiful setting. Just really, really phenomenal energy place to have this kind of transformational event. Um, okay, so I want to do a round of tapping. And please, if you guys have any other questions, after I do the round of tapping, I'll go back and look at them. So this is like a secondary round, okay? And again, I'm just kind of guessing thoughts, pops, thought things, whatever that might have popped up for you. So we're going to start on the karate chop. And again, Simon says, just follow me. Okay, so, okay. Even though I still have some fear of investing, there's a bigger, smarter part of me that's now looking at this a little bit differently. And I want to love and accept myself. Okay, we're going to go straight to the eyebrow points. I still have some fear of investing. I don't know if it'll work. And there's part of me that wants a guarantee. I want that guarantee. It's as if it doesn't work, um, something will happen. But maybe I'm putting all the responsibility on the other side. The way you get the best results is when you take full ownership and ask yourself, how are you going to show up? So, how am I going to show up differently? Whether it's a product I buy, a resource I get, a coach I hire, an event I go to, how am I going to show up differently? Maybe I'll ask more questions. Maybe I'll take better notes. Maybe I'll talk more to others. Maybe I'll be open and honest about what's really going on. Maybe I can show up differently. Because if I start to own this and make it about me, that I'm the one responsible for these great results, it's really about me. How cool is that? And I want to imagine myself standing so proudly after I've gotten these results, standing so tall, feeling so good about me, and knowing I am safe. Okay, everyone take another nice deep breath. How'd that feel? It feel good? I mean, you can see I'm sitting with a smile because even when I'm tapping and it's not my issue, I just feel so good that my energy is just shifting, and it's really really cool. One cool thing to share with you all. I used to do stress reduction workshops when I first started, and I do them at the end of the evening because people be driving from work, and they'd be driving at night, and it's rush hour, and they've already worked a full, whatever, 8-10 hours a day, and now they're driving through traffic to be there. And they get there, and their faces would all be like this, pulled and tight, and the stress, and they kind of be hunched over like that, and their body posture kind of like that, and they kind of looked old and raggedy. And what was so interesting is that like an hour later or so after the workshop, whatever, 60 minutes, 90 minutes later, I swear it looked like they all had a spa day. They looked younger, they looked energetic, there was color in their face, they were standing differently, they were sitting proudly, their face was all lit up. I mean, everything about them just, like I said, it's almost like they had a spa day because their whole energy just totally changed. So that's just like a little perk you get from some really cool tapping of mine. So did everyone get some shifts and changes and all that kind of stuff? Oh, you're very welcome, Jody. So let me just see, are there any other questions or thoughts or comments or anything before I go? I'm looking at this. God, this internet is funky, huh? Okay, so I want to remind everybody, if you have any questions at all, email my team, info@katebeaters.com. In the meantime, I hope I see everybody at conversationstoclientslive.com. Use the code YES, capital letters, YES17. My team set it up so temporarily you'll be able to save 40% off the regular price. That's a huge savings, and I'd love to see all you there. We're just going to rock and roll and do some really amazing mindset work. So until we meet again, everybody, be brilliant.